All right, so here we are at KTAR 19. We have the Analyst S set up, okay?
Yep.
We're right before top 48 after a very long day. My name's Swar. As a part of...
Oh, my bad. Stepping over you already, my bad.
No, it's okay.
Like I said, he's Sar, I'm Dom, and we just got through with a pretty... it's safe to call it a long doubles tournament, right? We've been here since, like, what, noon?
Maybe the longest. Maybe the longest. I was stream running for probably the majority of it until Pool 5 was called. Then I ran the pool. But we're here to talk about the seeding, okay?
Right.
The seeding going into top 8, going into what we know so far, and also what we just witnessed in doubles, right? So we had MK Leo really shining, right?
Right.
But we had that upset with Captain Zach and Pink Fresh against Light. Okay, Light and his partner, Don. Yeah, they were from Connecticut.
Okay, so they're New England. So you know about them.
Yeah, I know about them. I knew they would be a threat, but I didn't know that they would take out Pink Fresh and Captain Zach. So already in these top 16 seeds, let's go over the top, okay?
All right.
So what do we have first?
So from the top, obviously, if you don't know at this point, I don't know what to say to you. We have Zero at the top, Team Solo Mid's very finest. Probably slated to win the entire thing, even with the last-minute registration as singles. He initially came here just for doubles, but apparently, according to KTAR, he had to change of heart last minute. He said, you know, why not enter singles? Let's see what I can do.
He was concerned about how that would affect his PGR, and as I told him, the PGR really stresses the importance of those high points because the upsets within our game right now with the structure of tournaments and, you know, the lack of a circuit, the lack of a league, people lose to people all the time. But people don't win tournaments all the time.
Right.
So he decided to enter. So who's after Zero?
After Zero, we have the Buzz, which actually is pretty surprising to me. Just like looking at the like his recent success against not Zero so much, but against the people below him. Specifically the third one, who we'll get to in just a little bit. Spoiler alert, it's Naro, third seed, but like
winner of SmashCon 2016.
Right. I thought that he was going to initially be higher because of his recent success at SmashCon, and just since Smash 4 has really been a thing, it's always been like a storyline where Naro and DeBuzz like meet, like, okay, this is Naro, this is DeBuzz, and like Naro just comes through, and then DeBuzz just isn't a factor. Like that's what we're used to seeing. What is he doing? That's what we're used to seeing a lot of the time. But even with that, DeBuzz still grabbing that second seed here. So we'll see if he can actually like translate that into more success, because that actually switches his position when it comes winner semis time.
Yeah, and I think that's what underpinned a lot of the justification for it. And then we do have Nairo at third. And right behind Nairo, we actually have Salem.
Probably the player with the most momentum on the planet right now.
The most momentum, but a timeline that just started, because just some time ago, not exactly, over 160 days ago, a few months ago was the last KTAR 18, and that was what Nairo took, right?
Right.
First over Void. And Salem at that point had entered, but there wasn't that sort of thing we see now.
We had Salem there, but he wasn't, I'm not going to say he wasn't relevant, but he wasn't nearly as prominent as he is now. Yeah.
Salem is now, I mean, my opinion, probably up there in the upper echelons of the PGR.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just something you can't even deny at this point. And after Salem, we have Tweak, who has lost multiple sets to Salem, most of them going 0-3 or Game 5. Seeing that actually happening at Olympus.
Yeah. When Tweak, he's expressed his like frustrations against playing Salem specifically, because he always feels like it's one of the walls he experienced as a player. But like when he goes up against Salem, there's never really a middle ground. Either he does really well and he keeps up and he really takes it to Salem, or Salem just completely just rolls through him.
Exactly, and that's what this Analyst is trying to really do, establishing before Top 48 begins the different storylines, but also the different trends that these players have been exhibiting. And if you would have looked at this seeding and told someone 4 months ago what it was going to be, I think they'd laugh. Yeah, putting Salem over Tweak, putting crazy. Salem at least even in it top 8.
Yeah.
And then, oh, sorry?
Yeah, Salem wasn't even like,
wasn't household name
yeah,
yet.
He wasn't like a factor when it comes to like seeding the top 8 at these events just a couple months ago, but it just shows how much you can do in just, you know, over a season.
Obligatory. Top 8 seeding going out into the rest of the year, which is now ending in a couple months.
Right.
And then right after Tweak, we have Mexico's savior, MK Leo.
Making his first appearance in the U.S. We saw him at GOML 2016, where he placed, I believe, 5th. Beat Nairo, really took it to 0, Game 5, really close set. Yeah. And really just showed the world that he wasn't just like a player that was just getting random wins when people came to his hometown. He left Mexico, went to Canada, and replicated his success. And so and we're going to see if he's going to try to do it again here in his first appearance in the U.S.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's outlandish to say he's one of the favorites to win the event at this point.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And with MKLeo playing, I think it was 15 games exactly at Canada Cup, taking each one to Game 5, right? I mean, that sort of experience that he's gained, being able to toss back and forth with Ally, arguably, you know, top 10, top 5 in the world to anybody you ask, is something that definitely needs to be considered in these moments. And that's where you see MKLeo. However, again, we have this track record that he has these Mexican tournaments, but we don't have any American, North American, or even some international interactions that we're missing. We have the exhibition, right, that happened with Rio E-Games, but that's really hard to quantify just because, again,
it was an 8-man invitational.
Yeah, it was an exhibition.
Like the stage was grand, but like when you put it into perspective, it was like it doesn't hold nearly as much weight as the other events do. And people complain about Leo's spot on the current PGR, where I believe he's somewhere between 15 and 18. I want to say 17. It's probably not exact because I don't have it locked in my head. Surprise, surprise.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
It's been a while.
But people were just complaining about, hey, either this guy is either way too high or way too low. But I don't know what they're doing. They're either way too high or way too low. They either don't believe in that he's this good, or they just believe that he's so much better. But it's hard to really say when he doesn't have all these interactions with all these American players.
And he definitely silenced any dissenters after Gommel. At Gommel, it was like, yep, that's the guy. I mean, Mr. R.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Mr. R was the first to him to go down, but it made sense after Gommel when you saw what happened. And then we saw it again at Canada Cup. So at this point, it can't really be disputed.
So moving on to 7,
yeah, so at end of 7, a very interesting case here, given his performance as CEO. Second to Anti. And then since then, a little bit of a string.
Yeah, he's been a little bit, I'm not going to say he's fallen off. It's just the nature of the game, but
expectations were set at CEO 2016.
Sure. When you peak that high at such a stacked event, like
you need to do it again within that time.
Exactly.
So it's not classified as a fluke, and I think that's acted, you know, I think some people might go towards that because, again, the consistency in this game is so volatile, and so many of these things and matchups that players like discover and are exposed to can lead to sometimes second at CEO or 49th. You know, like it happens. So we want to go ahead and close out with the last seed for 8th, which is Mr. E
from Long Island, currently on the power ranking for them now. I believe he's somewhere hanging between number 2 and 3. Very high up, very highly respected player. Out of nowhere, at the beginning of 2016, he just started taking names, like, out of nowhere. Like, he just woke up out of bed and said, I want to be good at Smash 4 now. Like a really good.
And I think that Mr. E and Salem have earned titles of the PGR Slayers. I mean, they came, Mr. E at EVO, taking down 0. And you see Salem, I mean, Collision.
Just
I mean, all
his
resume now is just crisp. So we wanted to just take a moment to look at the top 8 seeds, see how it plays out as top 48 develops, and see where we're in a little bit when we do this again right before top 8 starts. So, want to add anything else, Tom?
Not really. Just like Sar said, just to pretty much add on, we just wanted to sit down while we have the downtime, really just walk you guys through what's going on here. It's easy to look at a bracket and just see what's going on, but we feel like this will be a good way to give you a look into what's really going on. A little bit of the inner workings, storylines, yada, yada, yada going in.
Exactly. And there weren't too many upsets this tournament. I mean, Tweak, False made it out in winners with flying colors. Raptor made it out in winners with flying colors. Players that had those expectations within them by the community, and I think that they showed it. So since we don't want to fall prey to that KTAR curse, we have started playing some of Top 48 off of stream, and now we're going to continue into some of the higher matches. And that was done because if we started pools right now, then it'd be Merry Christmas at the end of this tournament. So, yeah, I mean,
think on that note, it's just safe to just leave it be until we get to top 8.
Yeah. So this is Swar with PG Stats closing out the analyst desk with
Dom. You'll probably see me later on commentating top 48. But until then, hope you enjoy what we do here. We hope to see you guys before top 8 and enjoy the rest of the action here in top 48.
Yeah, and then, you know, stay tuned for when the PGR V2 comes out in January 2017. All right.